Hi there. I am here tonight to do a couple of card fronts, and you'll see that I already have a flower here on my paper because I forgot to turn the camera on. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get a card front made here. Um, I'm trying to decide what color I want to go with this sort of a corally pink that I have going on here. I just I want to send a couple of cards out to some friends for Valentine's Day. Not sure I want to go with this pink. It's a beautiful pink, but I'm not sure I want to go with it with this coral that I have on here right now. So I'll probably put this in fast forward and do a voiceover so that I can have all my hesitation as far as colors and this and that goes without bothering you viewing so terribly much. I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you enjoy. Like I said, I will do a voiceover so that you can kind of follow along with what I'm doing here and understand a little bit what I'm doing and so on. I will say before I do that this little flower technique that I have going on here is not mine. This was a little flower that I watched Creations Cece do, and it is the coolest little flower. It always turns out differently, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's like a little loose type flower. And like I said, it always turns out differently, and I just love this little flower. It's easy to do, and as she states on her channel when she does this, once you get onto it, it's really simple to do. And there, I just got too much water in that one, so I'll take some of that up. But they come out looking kind of loose and sort of free form, and I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, this paper that I'm using is Speedball makes this paper. It's called Bin Fong or something like that, I think, by Speedball. I don't like it as well as Arches, but sometimes you just have to practice or use a little bit lesser quality paper to so that you can continue painting. So anyway, this is that type of paper. It is a 140-pound cold press, I believe. If that's different, I'll change it in the description, or I will put a correction down there. So enjoy. I hope that you do, and I will probably be back with a little bit of a voiceover for you. Okay, so I've put it in fast forward, and I'm just working on my little purple flower here. I think I add a couple more petals to it. And you just take a dot of the color, and then you kind of sort of drag it out, I guess you could say, and then drop in some more pigmented color at the tops. Now this purple that I mixed up here, I used a pink, I believe, and a red, and I wish I could tell you which two colors I chose in my new Mission paints to do that, to mix it up, but I loved the color that it came out, and it was mixed very well. If you can see right there and right there, it separates, and it also was separating in my palette. I use ceramic palettes so that the colors don't bead up. I cannot stand that when the colors bead up and you can't tell what you really have. So I don't know why it separated like that. Maybe someone can help me. It was mixed up very well, and I kept trying to fix it, and here in a little while you'll see I did end up fixing it. But so I'm working on this blue flower now, kind of a sort of a teal, leaning towards the teal side of blue. And I just drop in a little bit more concentrated color. That's the other thing I noticed about this paper. It doesn't really do as well at blending or bleeding out your it doesn't bleed as well as Arches. Let me put it that way. And adding a couple more petals on to that blue flower. I put these three flowers, excuse me, I put them a little bit closer together on the paper than I've done in the past when I've made these or painted these. And I wanted to do that because I'm using these for a card front, and I thought maybe I would put some lettering or something on them as well. So I put them a little closer together just to help that. And then here I'm starting my stems. And that green, I believe, is olive green in my new Mission paints. It might be a little bit of a mixture of the olive, but I think olive and maybe, I think it is all the olive on that in this first portion right here, which is a really cool green. I love it. I'm really enjoying my Mission paints. They are, to have a properly pigmented paint is really different, and it makes a big difference, I find. I'm going to add a bud over here. I just like putting a couple buds on there. I think they look nice. And then a purple one on this side. And I'm going to drop in some more pigmented color first over here on this corally pink one. And yeah, you kind of have to, you sort of kind of have to, the paper I don't think stays as wet as long as Arches, and you kind of have to coax it to bleed for you then. This is where I discover that if I put the color bright clear violet on there instead of using the mixture that I had mixed up, that it was a lot prettier purple. So I go ahead and go around. You can see where the color has even separated a bit on the paper, and you can tell that it looks kind of more blue. You can see on the petal, kind of the one petal kind of opposite of where I'm working right now. It's just the strangest thing. I've never had, when I've mixed colors of paint, I've never had them separate like that. So I've obviously or probably done something wrong. I don't know, but I don't know what. So if anybody has any help for that, let me know. But this flower does end up turning out fine in the end. That bright clear violet really made it a beautiful color. And then you could still see some of the other shade underneath, and that was fine too. So kind of softening the edges a bit. Since I added that color in there to it, I wanted to soften the edges out just a tad. And I like that much better. And then I'm going to put the stems on for my little buds. And some leaves are just little sketchy, little choppy type, sort of scribbly like little leaves on the stems as well. And then on that one, I think I put a little hook on a couple of them, you know, like the leaves were sort of folding over, but sort of was a happy accident. It kind of did that on its own, so I just kind of went with it. But they're mostly just a little scribbly type leaf. Here I'm adding water, just the tiniest bit of water into the center of the flower, and I'm going to grab some ivory black and dab it in there. And I'm doing the same thing to the peachy corally one. You can see the black better on that one, how I dabbed it in. The purple one, it looks like it's all run together, but it really hasn't. There, I put a little too much water, so getting that back up and dabbing again with the black. And that's not black that I'm adding there. That I think is Hooker's green or Van Dyke green, a real dark green, to just give it a little bit more oomph on the, there you go. I'm just lifting it up so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm wetting the background. Kind of decided that I wanted to put a little background in on this little painting, and the color that I dropped in there is Permanent Yellow Light. I'm learning that there are certain ones of the colors that are more opaque than the others, and the yellow, the Permanent Yellow Light, and I think maybe even the yellow ochre are a lot more opaque than some of the other shades, which is kind of fun. And there's a hair in my painting. Sorry about that. I do eventually get it off of there. Okay. And some more of the permanent yellow light. I even go up in between the stems just a bit. You can barely tell that there's color on the brush at all. But you can see it there, just a hint of it. Okay, here's the finished picture of it, and I really like how it turned out. And here is another one that I did off camera, and that's going to be a card front also. And that's Loose Roses. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you.